Hey folks, Landstryder here, and welcome back to another episode of Atom Smasher. I'm here with Donal.
Hey.
And today we want to get the rest of the way through our tech quest line here. You can see I was actually turning in some coins and been doing the quarry stone. It's a really good way to clear out my inventory of cobblestone while I'm down mining looking for stuff. And yeah, trying to get some coins up so we can eventually, I think, in the next update, I'm going to add a few more things to the platinum coin list, and one of those things is going to be some stuff for the reactor, because enderium is not a thing that can be made in the pack because we don't have COFH. So instead of having to be craftable, I will have that be a quest thing that you can get for your reactor. So, and of course I will make it a purchasable thing. So anyway, I want to first start out by taking a look inside the reactor. We can kind of see some of the things I've been doing. I'm almost down to 0 heat. There, we're at 20 heat right now. I still need to put a few more lapis coolers in, like right here. I still need 2 more lapis coolers, and I think that'll get me quite almost all the way there. If I put in the beryllium moderators back in these couple of these corners, though, it'll bump that heat right back up, but it will greatly increase the amount of power. And I've removed the top section for the time being in here because I was just trying to get it down to the point where we could manage the heat without a big deal, and the amount of power that it creates is more than enough for the base now. We actually need to turn it on for a minute because we are completely out. But the size of the reactor, I'm pretty sure the size of the reactor does affect the amount of RF storage. You can see that we can store 11 million RF. Is that right? Am I counting that right? Yeah,
I think so.
11 million RF in this particular reactor. I never did. I haven't edited that previous video where I still had the baby reactor to check on the amount that it was storing. But we've got our grinder, right? The next quest to do is we're almost there. We're almost there. We need our industrial blast furnace, and then we can process aluminum, which we can then use to make the parts to make the metallurgic fuser. And those, and hopefully we'll get all that today. So somewhere one of these should have, there it is, the industrial blast furnace. So we had to make some copper nickel heating coils. Those were done in the rolling machine, so that was another thing that we had to craft. The rolling machine, let's take a look at that one. Our rolling, and I'm pretty sure that is a kind of a complicated craft by itself. Yeah, it takes 2 compressors, actually not terribly complicated, 2 compressors, basic machine frame, a couple advanced circuits, and some pistons. It gives us our rolling machine. It's kind of sad that this one doesn't have more uses, because I think there's I'm not sure what all recipes here we got. We can make Magnesium Plates. I'm not even sure what those are used for. It's another way that we can make weighted pressure plates, but yeah, there's not a ton. Oh, you can make tripwires in this, in minecarts. I think you get 2 minecarts instead of 1 for the recipe. That's kind of nice. Another way to make buckets. Rails. Yeah, this thing doesn't have as many recipes as it would be nice, but yeah, the main reason to make this thing is the copper nickel coils so that you can progress on. Anyway, we're gonna make that. That's advanced circuits. The other thing it needs is a couple electric furnaces, and yeah, the rest of it's pretty simple, straightforward stuff. So there we go. Grab that industrial blast furnace. That's gonna complete our quest for pulling that out. Now, to get the industrial blast furnace working, we're going to need a bunch of standard machine casings and a few buckets of lava. Do we have a few buckets left? Looks like we have a few buckets of lava left over there. So let's grab our bucket out and pull out a bucket of lava. Well, we're going to need 2 buckets of lava, so let's just bring the tank downstairs with us. That way we can put it in as we build it. And I'm just going to put it right beside this one, like not touching it, but like beside it. We'll have a little space in between. I could, in fact, have them touching. Not that it would, it wouldn't matter. but we've got plenty of space down here. We've got plenty of space down there. You can see that I got a power run out to our tree farm now, and that's been working pretty good. You said that we had like a ridiculous amount of wood earlier?
Got over 1,000 wood logs.
Nice, nice. So that's working quite well, apparently. And it doesn't seem to like take a terrible amount of power. So that's good. I'm just going to stick that down in between there for now. And then, I don't know, can you hear that?
A little bit.
Yeah, that means I'm going to have to take a quick break. But here, I want to like finish up just putting this machine together real quick.
It's over now. I don't hear it anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't, because it stops. It's the bell that my mother-in-law rings whenever she needs help. So I'm gonna have to go check on that here real quick.
Okay.
I think I've explained several times in my streams that I'm actually being a nurse right now, more or less. So I will be right back, and we will get this hooked up and start to work. But you can see we got 1860 heat in it. In fact, do I have the core? I think I'm short a few. Yeah, we're gonna have to make some more basic universal cables. So maybe by the time I get back, Dornell will have that hooked up with a couple. With like, I just needed 2 more. Dang, basic universal cables. Okay, that didn't take too long. So back to it. All I need is to grab a little bit more of the universal cable so I can hook this up. Whoop.
Right there, right there.
Oh, you got it? Like in a
Underneath the furnace. Underneath the furnace.
Underneath the furnace. Thank you. Thank you very much. And hopefully, I wasn't gone too long, so since this is only producing like a tiny bit of heat, yeah, it barely heated up. But I can turn it off for now because we don't want to waste fuel. Now, as soon as we get our metallurgic infuser going and we can start making RF tools machines, because we can't do that either until we get the metallurgic infuser because of recipe changes. And I'll show you that real quick. The machine frame from RF Tools, M-A-C-H-I-N-E, there we go. Machine frame, one of these. Where's it at? That one right there. It is going to require enriched alloy as well as the lapis and stuff. So can't just use it the way we normally would. I think the normal recipe is just like redstone there or something like that, but wanted to gate that behind, you know, I wanted to gate that as a high-tech stuff because all the RF tool stuff is fairly powerful. So alright, we're looking pretty good here. This is now getting power. Yeah, we're good there. We're ready to process some aluminum. Did you throw some bauxite into the thing yet? I didn't check that.
I have not, no.
Okay, so that's the next step. Guess I can't have my window open today. Stupid geese. Sorry guys. Whoa. Find my bauxite here. It should be up there. There we go. Yeah, wow, I don't actually have a full stack of that. I guess I have mostly been ignoring it in the mines. So we'll throw that in there. That shouldn't take too long to process. So I probably want to eventually add some upgrades to this to make them faster. Although this looks like it's not too bad. But now we can take the bauxite dust. I can't remember if I can just throw that straight in here. I think I can. No? Maybe I have to separate it first. Says, yeah, then that has to go in the industrial electrolyzer. Did you have the electrolyzer made by any chance? By any
You
chance?
didn't tell me I needed an electrolyzer.
Well, we don't actually need the electrolyzer because we do get some aluminum dust, so that I just to process the bauxite dust that comes out of there, we will need electrolyzer to break that down to get even more aluminum. But we do get a little bit of aluminum dust out of that, and that can go right on into the man. I'm having all kinds of noise issues today. I do apologize, guys. But that can go right into the blast furnace. The blast furnace is a bit slow, but thankfully we've got plenty of power. If we didn't, then it would be even slower. If you're trying to power it with something that is less than massive. But we don't have that issue. We got a massive reactor right here. While we're waiting for that aluminum to process up, let's come on up here. And the thing is, to make the the metallurgic infuser, that's what I'm trying to say. Metallurgic infuser. And this right here. There's two recipes. One recipe is for once you already have a metallurgic infuser, you can use enriched alloy that's made in the metallurgic infuser to make more metallurgic infusers quite easily. But until then, you need to do this recipe. So the first one you do has to be this recipe, which requires an industrial centrifuge, which is the thing I was just saying that we could use to get some additional aluminum, but we don't. We're going to need one for the electrolyzer, and an alloy smelter. An alloy smelter is not bad at all, but the industrial centrifuge is the thing that requires the aluminum, and I'm probably going to be doing the second one down here where we take and make the aluminum plates. But oh, we can turn in quarry stone again. Nice, if we wanted to. Let's see here. Oh, while we're waiting for Dorn, how are you doing on that? Actually, you getting pretty close. Probably.
Yep. Well, I'm getting close to having one machine done, and I gotta do the other.
Okay. Well, the second one on the bottom is actually much easier than the one on the top, so that's not a big. That one shouldn't be too big of a deal. Oh, before we get any further, though, I do want to mention that I did remember how to use the alumina or the uranium blocks. So to use these uranium blocks, now unfortunately these won't poison me or anything like that, but if we take our chisel, we chisel these uranium, pull that out, chisel these uranium blocks into any of these other variants, the chisel variants of the uranium block. Then we put that uranium block in the crafting grid, we will get uranium ingots back from it. That's how you do it. I couldn't remember how to do it the other day when we were initially creating the reactor, but that's how we do that. Then we can take these uranium ingots and throw them in there. Which means that when we process the uranium through the industrial craft stuff, we get a certain amount of this stuff, the uranium-238 from the IC2 and the tiny piles of uranium-235. We can use that stuff to create a few pellets, but we will always end up with like a massive amount of 238 left over because we don't get that much to the 235. Then that 238 can then be turned into blocks. The blocks can be turned into ingots like I just showed you. The ingots can then be processed down in this machine, the isotope separator, to create even more fuel, which we take the uranium, this stuff, and this stuff. Let me pull it all out. Now, fortunately, I don't actually have to worry about these poisoning me either. But if I picked up these tiny uraniums from the IC2 mod, those would poison me if I didn't have the hazmat suit on at the time. So we'll bring these over to find one that's not being occupied here. We then turn this stuff into the 235 variant for nuclear craft, the nuclear craft variant of 235. That gives us these piles. Oh, don't got enough for another one. Then we combine that. Now there's a couple ways we can do it. We can do like this really high powered fuel that uses 4 of these and 5 of these, and that'll give a very high powered fuel. But we don't want that because it's going to produce way too much heat for the reactor setup that we got. What we want, and what is going to be a lot more fuel efficient for us, is to use up a bunch of this 238 and 1 235 per 235 fuel pellet. We'll do it again. There we go. And now I've got 15 more fuel pellets that I can then convert into fuel rods using the empty fuel rods. Just gotta stick them in there, basically stick the pellet in there. There we go. Now I've got 15 fuel rods ready to go into the reactor. I do have some spent depleted fuel. I probably will save that for another episode where I will talk about the entirety of the reactor setup and like variants and possibly like the entire process of taking the fuel, putting, having maybe a couple different reactors, one that actually takes the initial fuel, one that actually uses some of the more powerful fuel, because if you get too powerful of fuel in a reactor like this, like it's going to overheat, because I'm very, very close to the margin, and I'm using, now this stuff is just a little bit better. See, you see that base heat generation 60, this base heat generation is 50, so if I switch this fuel out, this fuel would not have the heat issue that the current fuel that I have in there is, and I need to turn it on. But I am trying to use up this 233 that we got from a quest. There's a slight difference there. This produces a little bit more power, but then we have to figure out how to deal with this slightly extra heat. Which we're doing. We're doing quite well, actually. And I just was over at the Nether getting a bunch of, well, I was actually looking for diamonds. I got a few diamonds while I was over there. But the thing that I did manage to get while I was over there too was a bunch more, well, I thought I got a bunch more lapis. What'd I do with it? Did I put it away? No? Did you use it for something?
No.
Interesting. I wonder what I did with it. Maybe I didn't get lapis. I could swear I got lapis. Maybe I already used it. That's a possibility. There's a good possibility that I already used it and put it in the reactor with a couple more coolers, because I think I need 2 more lapis coolers in there for time being. Anyway, we'll put that stuff away for now. We're going to be processing the bauxite ore here shortly. But let's take a look at what Dornell's doing here. He's almost got the next part ready, which is going to be for the metallurgic infuser, this thing right here. So he's working on the industrial centrifuge right now, I believe. Yes.
No, I need the aluminum plates now.
Okay.
That's ready.
The aluminum plates, and that's ready. Nice. Okay, well, let me grab the aluminum down here. It should be enough processed. Actually, it's just enough. We got 4. Now, do I need to I think my jetpack's out of electric fuel, so let's talk. Oh no, because I'm not even wearing my jetpack. I switched my armor. I really should make a habit of checking to make sure I don't have any uranium in my inventory before I just randomly switch my armor back out. But I was safe that time, so it's all good. Now I'm wondering, can I put this in the metal press? And if I do, is it going to be bad? So, is it going to work? No, it doesn't even look like I can do that. Where I can put it is the pressurizer. So I don't think it'll go in the metal former. Will it? Rolling? No, see, it won't go in there. So there's a couple ways to do it, but the pressurizer is probably the way to do it. If we look at aluminum plates, these right here, the rolling machine from Advanced Rocketry would do it. We could do the small plate presser, but that's only that we need a block of aluminum to get 4, and we don't have a block of aluminum prepared yet. And then the only other way is the pressurizer from Nuclear Craft. Pressurizer. Pressurizer? Wow. Anyway, it's got to go in this machine. That's going to make our plates. We can speed that process up just a little bit by swapping out a couple of our speed augments there. That'll make it just a tiny bit faster. I mean, I could probably even go and grab the 2 out of here if we really wanted to make it fast. But we've got the power. Why not?
Okay, so I'm just going to throw this out there. There you go. Everything's set up. Once you get those 4 aluminum plates, put it in this one. Get that piece out. And the one underneath the furnace will make our infuser.
Nice. Nice. We are going to be into the high tech here in just a second. There we go. Industrial centrifuge. Toss that in there. Gives us our metallurgic infuser. There we go. Quest complete. Gateway to superior technology. Alright, we'll stick it right there for now, because there's already a power cable behind there. So there we go. It's powered up. And now that we got that, we can start making advanced alloy. And using that to basically to make all of the RF tool stuff and things like that. I think next episode we're going to talk about base defenses, because now that I see that there are new random folks joining the server, I do want to be prepared just in case somebody decides that they want to grief me or something like that. So don't be surprised if this turns into a heavily fortified little building with all kinds of turrets and things like that real soon. So I'll make sure that I will make sure that my friends get on the whitelist, but yeah, eventually it's going to be very dangerous to approach this little building if you're not on the guest list.
Before you log off, should we take the teleporters, the iridium alloy, or the loot chests?
Good question. Now, definitely, well, the iridium alloy would be good if we were going to make quantum armor. That is something else I need to tweak in the next update. I didn't quite get that exactly right in this update, so that'll be tweaked in the next update. The teleporters would actually be good because we could use one of those teleporters to create the IC2 version of the digital miner. Okay, so Mechanism has a digital miner that lets you like pull stuff out of the ground. We'll probably end up making that. But there's also an IC2 variant that's similar to that. The miner, I think it's called the Advanced Miner. The Advanced Miner does require a teleporter and 2 regular miners. And honestly, I think the teleporter is really not that hard to make. I mean, it's just advanced circuits, especially now. So we might want to make one of these just for testing purposes. But what are the other options here? What were the other options here?
Iridium alloy plates and 2 loot chests.
I would say that that's completely up to you. If you want to make quantum armor, I would take the iridium, titanium iridium alloy. That'll save you time later. The loot chests, you know what's in the loot chests. They're pretty good. I think I personally am going to take the teleporters because I eventually want to create that other thing, and if I make the teleporters, then I will be able to use those to occasionally teleport to certain areas. And it's been a while since I messed with it, but I believe they have to be like set to a specific place, and then they only teleport to that one place. But so yeah, it's really debatable what the best choice is here. But I'm gonna take the teleporters just so we can play with them. You take whatever you like, because it's not gonna matter, because we only need one for the miner thing, and we only need one to play with. So I will put those in a chest. I will probably set them up and explain them a little bit better in the future. And then I think, yeah, we will probably create this advanced miner just so we have it to compare against the digital miner, because we can make the digital miner too. So we can put them right beside each other and go, yeah, this one takes this much power and this one did, you know, we'll just do the comparison of all that stuff. And there was one other thing that I wanted to mention, and I can't remember what it is now. Do you remember what I'm forgetting? What I'm forgetting?
Don't know.
Okay. Well, I guess it'll have to wait till the next time. But I think that we did an excellent job. That was kind of short, which is good. That's the way we want it. Keep it kind of short. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it, guys. We're gonna wrap this one up. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We've got the metallurgic infuser. Now we can start getting into some super high tech. Just start working on some advanced base defenses like force fields, block protectors, and we can start making our open modular turrets. Because, oh goodness, what was that? Oh, you chainsaw and stuff.
Didn't mean to switch.
No worries. But yeah, and I'm not sure that the turrets from tech guns are like the best to use, because I mean, as far as base defense versus players, they're good for base defenses versus NPCs, but you know, anyway, we'll get into all that in another episode. But till then, guys, we will catch you later.
Goodbye.